Yeah, and you say on page 57, I want to encourage all of you guys who might be struggling with confidence to not limit yourselves to what you think you are capable of
Mm,
or what you can or cannot do. Instead, place your confidence in God and trust that
mm,
He can handle whatever situation or insecurity you are facing.
yeah.
And then you talk about this fear of talking to people.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you how many students I have worked with, and even my own children, who
Yeah.
struggle with just having a conversation with
Yeah.
people.
Hmm.
And maybe growing up with screens and, the chats and the texts
Sure.
and all that, maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, a lot of people struggle with just asking for what they need out loud, or
Mhm.
staying after school to talk to the teacher, or coming into office hours,
Yeah.
raising your hand to answer a question, right?
Yeah.
Um,
True.
walking up to the cashier and paying for something.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, you said, but here I am giving middle-aged men tiny rainbow loom crosses to remind them that God loves them.
Wow.
You said this interaction with a waiter in a restaurant
Yeah.
changed your life forever. Can you tell us a little bit about that
Yeah.
story?
Oh gosh, I love that story. And when I hear it back, just like the whole tiny rainbow loom crosses, it makes me laugh. But yeah, at that time I was into crafts, so I was making these tiny rainbow loom crosses. And in my mind, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go out and I'm just gonna give these to people, and if they look approachable enough, I'm gonna tell them that God loves them, because I just need to tell everybody and everyone, was my mindset.
Mhm.
And this particular restaurant, it was called Five Guys. It's a burger joint down
Mhm.
where I live. I went inside, fully planning on giving the little cross keychain to the waiter, who would be working there. And I walk up to him, and I swear he's the scariest looking guy I've ever seen. Just appearance wise, he had a full face beard, and he was really tall, really big, and and he had a really stern look on his face too, kind of just like let's take your order and let's sit down kind of face. And I remember just standing there for like a couple seconds, just debating whether or not to give it. And finally, in my mind, I told myself, you know what? It's not me, it's God. It's God. That's why I'm here. It's not because of me. And so I proceeded to give it to him. And I just looked him in his eyes and I told him, you know what? I just wanted to tell you that God loves you. And that was it. And I went back to my seat. And I remember in the back of my or on the side of my eyes, I can still see him still having his palm out, just carrying the cross in his hands. And as I went to go sit down, he walked over. He came behind the cashier, came over to me and just said, I just want to say thank you. And
Mm.
he went back, and like a switch being flipped, just everything changed. As people started coming into the restaurant, he started going outside the little cashier box and hugging these people, saying, hey, welcome in, you are loved here. Or going to all of his workers in the back, high-fiving all of them, saying, hey, you guys are doing an amazing job, keep it up. And his whole just the atmosphere changed. And I
Yeah.
believe that it was because I believe that he may have been a Christian before, and he was just reminded of the truth that day. In the
Mm.
busyness and of the chaos of life, he might have forgotten about the joy of the gospel that he once had. And just a simple
Mhm.
reminder of that was able to give him and probably just given by a young girl as well. Just the amount of faith that probably gave him as well. And for me to witness that, and my whole family was there too, to just witness that, it was like, wow, that's the power that can happen when you don't rely on your own strength, but that you trust that God can do something extraordinary out of nothing. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
And so,
amazing.
yeah, I feel like once that experience happened, I I was like, wow, I this is the kind of confidence I can walk in, the kind of confidence David had when he was fighting Goliath, that
Yes.
just with a single stone you can move mountains. Um, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.